What is up, everybody? You're very welcome back to Leeds Bros, and this is your starting 11 show. Leeds United return to action this Saturday as he travelled to Turf Moor to take on Burnley in a Premier League clash after the international break. Seemed to go on forever, didn't it, the international break? But Leeds United have now returned. Through the course of this video, I'm going to run through my starting 11 for the game, and then it'll be over to you guys in the comment section below to let me know your starting 11 for the game and whether you agree or disagree with my selection. We'll start off with the goalkeeper first. Then we'll move on to our back four, into our midfield three, and then, of course, our front three as well. As always, guys, please make sure you're dropping a like on the video. It really does help us out. And, of course, if you're new here, we would love you to hit that subscribe button. So let's get into it, and let's start off with the goalkeeper. And no surprises here, I don't think. It's Darren. Anyone watched Daniel Farke's press conference? He did confirm it as well that Lucas Perry is back fit. He is available for selection, but he's going to stick with Carl Darlow given the lack of game time that Lucas Perry has had. Makes me wonder a little bit is what's going to be the long-term plan for Lucas Perry if he is going to be sitting on the bench, if Carl Darlow is going to be basically going to be our number one now until he makes a mistake. So it's going to be interesting to see how this develops over the next couple of weeks. But for me, I agree with Daniel Farke and Carl Darlow has to start in nets for this one. He's been playing regularly for club and for country, and he absolutely deserves a spot in this team for me. I think we spoke so much about him over the last couple of weeks here on Leeds Bros of how good he's been and how solid he's been at the back for Leeds United, so he definitely keeps his place for me. Let's move on then to the back four. Maybe a surprise with Pascal Struijk with this one, but we'll talk about all four individually. We'll go from right to left first, and we'll start off with Jayden Bogle. I don't think any surprises here. Performance dipped a little bit after that injury against Bournemouth. I thought his performance level dropped a little bit. Not the usual Jayden Bogle that you'd see kind of galloping forward and joining the attack. He was a little bit more reserved in his play. Again, I don't know whether it was from injury issues that he had, whether it was tactics and instructions coming from the coaching side of things. But he was a little bit better then again against Spurs. We've seen a little bit more from them getting forward and actually being an option getting forward. And you want to see that from Jayden Bogle. I think we hear so many Leeds fans saying the same thing, that he is one of our most creative players as well. I want to get into something towards the end of this video that you might have seen on last night's podcast that I want to leave a question to you as well about Jayden Bogle. But we move on to Joe Rodon. So he's fresh back after international duty after scoring for his country on Monday night against Belgium. Cracking header. And Joe Rodon has to start for me. I've seen something online, someone saying that Joe Rodon has to come out, Bial has to go in and partner Pascal Struijk. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Joe Rodon has been brilliant for Leeds United since we've signed him, and he's been brilliant this season as well. He was one of those players that had that question mark. Can he take that step up for the Premier League? And without a shadow of a doubt, he's proved it in these opening games for Leeds United. Daniel Farke spoke about it as well in his press conference. He's on him all the time about adding goals to his games, and we're seeing that. We've seen he's adding goals to this game, and hopefully we can get more of that as the season goes on. So he absolutely starts for me. And for me, a very underrated player in this Leeds United side. Goes under the radar massively. And I always said it last season. I wonder what it would have been like for any period of time if we had had Joe Rodon injured. And even this season as well, I feel like we'd be a little bit all over the place at the back. I think he's the glue that holds it all together. Moving on to Pascal Struijk. And then this is probably the one that's going to divide opinion. I'm sticking with Pascal Struijk, guys. I know there's a lot of people saying that you drop him and you bring Bial in. I just don't see it. I don't think Pascal Struijk's performances have been that bad. I don't think we're leaking goals at will where it needs a necessary change right now. And I think you risk upsetting the whole back line if you bring Bial in. You're upsetting Gudmundsson on one side, you're upsetting Rodon, and the whole back line as a collective. And I think the performance levels that we've seen from Leeds United against Bournemouth, against Spurs have been really, really good. We just haven't really got the results. And that's nothing really to do with the back line for me. Pascal Struijk in the last game against Spurs, he tries to get 2 blocks on it, deflects off him and ends up in the back of the net. He hasn't really done hasn't really put a foot wrong. If he's getting a block on them and he deflects it and it goes wide for a corner, or he blocks them 2 goal scoring opportunities, then we're all hailing him as a fantastic defender. But I don't think he's doing that bad that it needs a necessary change right now. So I'm picking Pascal Struijk for this game. I know that might divide opinions, but let me know your reason for picking Bial and the reason why you would take Pascal Struijk out of this team. Left back, I think it's one that absolutely picks itself. Gabby Gudmundsson. He's been improving week after week. He's really put that own goal behind him. I think against Spurs, he had a couple of dodgy moments. He had Kudos running at him all game, and I think that's probably shown him the level a little bit. I think for the first couple of games, he kind of had it okay, but he's going to come up against these types of wingers in the Premier League now as well, where they're going to be running at him. Plenty of pace, plenty of ability, plenty of quality, and now I think that would have been a big learning curve for Gabby Goodmunson going up against Kudos for that game against Spurs. So he has to start left back for me, and let's hope he can keep improving in that position. Let's move on then to the midfield three. And again, we'll go through them one by one. We'll start off with Ethan Ampadu first. He's the captain of the side. I think he's a real leader now. He's really grown into that role over the last 6 months for Leeds United. And we've seen again, he was another one, like Rodon, had that question mark over him. Can he take that step up to the Premier League? And again, he's been brilliant for me. A real general in that midfield. He's became a little bit of our sort of shithouse, hasn't he? He's putting the tackles in, we know, against the players like Dewsbury Hall, against Tyler Adams, kind of leaves a bit on them as well. And we love that as Leeds fans, don't we? We like that little bit of tenacity in midfield. And Ampadu has that in abundance for me. So definitely Ampadu starts the game. Sean Longstaff got September Player of the Month for me, without a shadow of a doubt. The correct decision for me. Could have been Anton Stack if he had kept up his performances, but I think he's dropped a little bit against Bournemouth and against Spurs. I think he was kind of below the level of what we were used to seeing him, especially away at Wolves. He's dropped down a little bit, so that's why I think Sean Longstaff got it deservedly, but I'm not dropping Sean Longstaff for this game, absolutely not. He keeps his position for me. He's been absolutely brilliant again. He's a workhorse in that midfield. We're going to need it away at Burnley as well. We're going to need legs in midfield. He gives that to you as well. And also he gives you that chance of scoring a goal from midfield as well. So he absolutely stays in for me. Then we move on to Anton Stack. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. This one was very 50-50. And I could change my mind right now. It could be El Tanaka and it could be Anton Stack. I think, as I mentioned, I think he's dropped a little bit below in the last two games against Bournemouth and Spurs. I think Daniel Farke needs to start rotating this squad a little bit. But the only reason why I'm picking Anton Stack to start this one is El Tanaka was away in international duty. He did only play 15 minutes against Brazil, but it's the travelling side of thing. Where you look at Anton Stack, he's been at home for the last 2 weeks. He's been training. I'm sure he would have been working on lots of things. And I think Daniel Farke will go with Anton Stack as well. So I think Stack keeps his place in this game for me, absolutely. But I think going forward, Daniel Farke needs to be looking at rotating that midfield a little bit more and trying to get Tanaka in, possibly against West Ham. You might see Tanaka come in for one of them, but let's see how it goes. But that's my midfield for this one. So let's move on then to the interesting side of things, and this is my front line. We'll start with Noah Okafor first, because we got a bit of injury news from Daniel Farke in his press conference that he is carrying an abductor injury or adductor injury, one or the other. But he is carrying a bit of a knock. Daniel Farke is hopeful that he's going to be okay for this game, but he does have that little bit of slight doubt over him. But because Daniel Farke's a little bit confident that he's going to be ready for this game, I've stuck him in this. Obviously, if he's not fully fit for this game, it's going to be Jack Harrison on the left-hand side for me. Given Willie Gnonto has had hernia surgery, he's not going to be available for this game. Dan James is in contention. He's well ahead of schedule. He's in contention of coming back for this game, but it's definitely not going to be enough to start the game. So you might see Jack Harrison start out on that left-hand side for Okafor. But he starts for me. He starts for me. If he's fit and he's ready to go, Okafor, absolutely. Most creative player. He starts on the left-hand side. Moving on then to the right-hand side, Brendan Aronson. And again, I've seen some people say Aronson comes out and Jack Harrison goes to the right-hand side. I just don't like the idea of Jack Harrison now on the right wing. Anytime I've seen him out there on the right-hand side for Leeds, he hasn't really impressed me. And I watched him a lot for Everton as well. Anytime he was out on that right-hand side, he was very ineffective. I'd rather him on the left-hand side. We know what sort of balls he can put into the box. He really has a whipping cross on him. I'd rather him on that left-hand side instead of cutting back in on his left foot on the right-hand side, closing everything down and everything's a little bit more narrower. So Brendan Aronson keeps his spot for me in this game. Absolutely deserves to keep it. Again, it's just that question mark is that travelling back. He obviously was away with the US men's national team. He's back now. Is he going to be fully fit? Can he give us that energy that we're used to seeing from Brendan Aronson? So obviously Willie Gnonto, as we said, is not going to be fit for this game. So what I wanted to ask you guys about Jayden Bogle, I want to know your opinion on it, because I could really feel this could help Leeds United and could be an option given the situation we're in at the minute with Dan James not fully fit, with Willie Gnonto still out for this game. I would be interested to see Jayden Bogle push forward to that right wing position and maybe James Justin covering the right back. We all speak about Jayden Bogle being our most creative player and getting forward, being able to score goals, being able to assist and really dictate our attack and play. I'd like to see him in that right wing position. And also as well, the narrative suits Daniel Farke, because he spoke about that he likes his wingers to be defensive. And what's better than a defensive winger than a defender himself? So I would personally, I think that's a good option. I would definitely start with Brendan Aronson 100% for this game. But if he's flagging a little bit, personally, I would like to see Jayden Bogle go to the right wing position and maybe James Justin go to right back and see how Jayden Bogle gets on there. Naturally right footed as well, and you keep the whole kind of shape of the side then as well, because I hate this whole crossover of wingers, right footer on a left and left footer on a right. Kind of seems to narrow things down. Personally, that's my opinion. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Am I a little bit mad in saying that? Let's move forward then and let's talk about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He starts this for me. Again, there was a couple of murmurs over the international break. Some people calling for maybe a bit of a change up front. Mecha coming in, maybe Pirro coming in. Excuse me, to try and add more goals to the game. I just don't think you drop him, guys. I really don't. I think his all-round play has been outstanding. And he's a real massive part of the way Leeds United have played this season. He's a real focal point for us now. He's well able to hold up the ball, bring others into play. But there's no denying it. He needs to start adding goals to this game. We've seen a couple of chances he had against Bournemouth and the chances that he had against Spurs as well. So he needs to start adding goals to his game. And what better place to do that up against the likes of Burnley? No disrespect to Burnley. So I keep him in for this game. If it's not going so well, 70th odd minute, you might bring on your Joe Pirro then and hopefully get a goal. But if you're bringing Pirro on, you're totally changing the way Leeds United play. He's not going to be that hold-up player and bringing others into play. And I don't think the 4-3-3 would suit Joe Pirro personally, in my opinion, because you're going to see him drop very deep then as well. And if you have narrow wingers, I don't think that's going to work great for Leeds United. But that is my starting 11 for against Burnley, guys. Now it's over to you in the comment section below. I want to know, who would you start against Burnley this weekend? Myself and Dylan will be back tomorrow night live at 8:30 for your full match preview, where we'll break it down and we'll look into Burnley a little bit deeper. But that's it from me, guys. So we'll leave it there. Mind yourselves, mind each other. Catch you in the next one.